Okay, so I got my guitar here. I went ahead and did a 220 grit on the guitar to kind of get it pretty flat. I'm not trying to go for a professional finish here. I just want to go for something like really raw. So I'm just going to pull the grain out. This is my green dye, and I'm hoping that this works. I have no idea. This is a sock that I rolled, stuffed inside another sock, tied it tight. This is gonna like soak up a lot better than a sponge would. And here goes nothing. I'm gonna use this lid to get rid of any. I don't really hardly have any excess here. And this may not be enough dye for what I'm wanting. Enough stain, I should say. Alright, so I applied the stain to the guitar. It's still a little damp in some places, as you can see. This is why they tell you to wear gloves. But I know the girlfriend likes the dark fingers. Anyway, so some of my edges weren't taking any of the stain, or at least not very well. I went to it with this. This is a 220 grit here, and I started to go into it like this. You're probably supposed to let this dry, but when I started going into it like that, I kind of got a really cool effect going around the edges, which I may end up keeping actually, because I kind of like it. I want my edges to be, I don't want them to be too rounded, but I also kind of like how this looks. So I may end up keeping it. For right now, I'm just going to try to sand these down a little bit just to make sure that it takes a little bit of stain at least, maybe. And make sure that some of these edges aren't too dark for whenever I want to come back, whenever I want to give this little halo effect around the edges here. So I think right now I'm actually going to go to 120 here, because this 220 doesn't feel like it's cutting it right here. It's really, really dark. These edges really absorbed a lot of it. But I'm probably going to let this dry and come back to it, because I don't want to get, I'm not really sure how dark I want to go on this thing, but I'm really liking this, our halo effect thing by just sanding these edges around. It's pretty cool, I reckon. Alright, so here's a shot of the guitar after I stained it. I sanded it down again with 120 grit so that the stain is mostly in the grain, and when I stain it again, hopefully the grains will pop out even a little bit more, which is what I want. And then I'll probably sand it down another time and try to keep it a little bit darker green, probably. And then from here I'll probably start on with the clear coats. Alright, I got my stained tar body here, and it actually looks really good. I may end up putting one more coat on it of stain on this, just because I want it to be I kind of want it to be a pretty dark stain. You can tell there that stain's just pulling off of the top wood, but it's staining the grain, so that's cool. Alright, so I'm going to put another coat of stain on here just because I really want this grain here like really dark. So this is the sock I used last night. I washed it out, turned blue, and use the same. I'm going to do pretty much the same thing here that I did last night. Alright, so I put some tape around all the bits of the guitar, all the places where I don't want to get my nitrocellulose lacquer. I'm using nitrocellulose lacquer. I got it off of Stumac, which is where I got the dye, the stain from. And the nitrocellulose lacquer, I'm probably going to just use a brush and brush it on. Let it dry. I think you gotta let it dry an hour or two, and then you sand it with like a 400 grit, I think. So I'm probably gonna use like a 400 grit. Sand it down. Maybe wet sand it. I'm not necessarily sure how to do that, but I'll probably wet sand it. And then I might I'll probably put another 1 or 2 coats on. Probably 3 coats total, I would assume. And then yeah, that's about it. I hope this lacquer dries clear, because it's looking a lot like what I put on, what I just took off of this thing. I would be pretty upset if it's not. Like anything, when you're painting, you want to be careful that you don't get any streaks or runs. And you want to be in a well ventilated room, because this stuff is potent. Probably should have some gloves on, actually. You probably want this to go with the grain, because when you're going to sand it, you want it to be nice and smooth. You don't want it to look like it's going against the grain. Alright, this is after my 3rd coat of nitrocellulose lacquer. I actually have a 400 grit sandpaper here. This is a wet sand paper that you can use. This is designed to minimize like scratching and stuff, but also dust and that sort of thing. So this got some bits here that are kind of standing out, that are kind of rough. So I'm going to just take this. That might be the finished product right there. I like it a lot. It's good. Thank you all for watching this tutorial, and check out some of my original songs, some of my original music. Some of it was playing underneath this video. I'm going to put some of my music underneath this video. Buy it on iTunes, and maybe I'll try to put more tutorials up as I do more